Hi everyone, good day. So we are on lesson 2, and I hope that you guys had a wonderful first day with your BODMAS. I hope that you guys would have reviewed the video that was posted, made your necessary notes, attended your tutorial, asked your question, attended the help desk class, and you are comfortable to now do your homework questions on BODMAS, right? So for lesson plan 2, we are still moving slow and steady, and we are going to start something that we call direct numbers. Direct numbers. Now, I made reference to direct numbers a few times when we were doing BODMAS. Now, direct numbers, this is, right? It's the maneuvering or the calculation of our laws of arithmetic, which would be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we're going to start to see small numbers could take away large numbers, and things that we know to be subtraction sign is now called a negative number, and all these different things, right? So let's look at it. So calculating via the laws of arithmetic. Guys, be sure to take your notes, right? Negative and positive numbers. So we already know what is a positive number because we have been dealing with these things since when? How long now we're dealing with positive numbers? Since we know numbers, right? Since we know numbers, we've been dealing with positive numbers. Now, it's for us to understand a positive number is numbers that we usually use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 20, 30, 57. All of these are positive numbers. Now, what is the concept of a negative number? That's what we need to know. What is the concept of a negative number? So for negative numbers, we have numbers that are not what we would usually do or say or work with, but these are numbers that look like, so let me give you examples, right? Examples of positive numbers, which could represent like this. So an addition sign, VE, positive. You'll see that being used for the abbreviation or shortcut to write positive numbers. So it's going to be positive 2, positive 5, positive 9. But when we're writing positive numbers, we don't need to use the addition sign. So example of negative numbers now, which will be a subtraction sign, VE, for the shortcut. Negative 2, negative 5, negative 9. Now, that is just looking like subtract 2, subtract 5, subtract 9. And we are going to learn how to do or work with these numbers interchangeably, when to say subtract 2 and when to say negative 2, right? So in order for us to understand how direct numbers work and how positive and negative numbers work, there is something called a number line. And a number line is a straight line of course, that has numbers on it, right? So a number line. So let's look at how a number line is made up. In the middle of a number line, we have a centralized number. Think about what you think that centralized number will be. So one centralized number for a number line, if you guessed it correctly, that will be 0. And to the right of 0, we have our positive numbers. And to the left of 0, we have what we call our negative numbers. So any number to the left of 0 is smaller than 0. And any number to the right of 0 is larger than 0. So we have little dots on your screen, and I'm just going to use those as our 1 marker. So I could put this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course, these are positive, 6, 7, and I could go on to infinity, positive infinity, right? And now to the left of 0, same, -1 now, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. And we're going to go on there to negative infinity, which is, right, not really a thing per se, but you could go infinite times that direction. So, wait, you can see what's happening here. Now, we are going to be introduced to something that is called a number line. Now, a number line is a straight line, of course, with numbers on it, and the centralized number for that number line is 0. And to the right of that number line, if you're looking at the screen, has positive numbers, and to the left of that number line, we have negative numbers. Now, I would have placed the 0, right? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going on to positive infinity or onto infinity. Infinity is neither positive or negative, but we're going to infinite ways that direction. And then to the left of 0, we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, and we're going infinite times down that way, which is like negative infinity. And that's how negative numbers look and positive numbers look. And what we need to understand is that negative numbers are smaller than 0 and positive numbers are larger than 0. Now, how do we apply these rules or these numbers with regards to working things out? So let's see. Some basic rules and properties we want to know when we're dealing with the number line is that if I have a number, the number to the right of that number is larger than my number. And if I have a number to the left of that number is smaller. So numbers on the right are larger than my number. Numbers to the left are smaller than my number. So for example, I have 1, 2, 3. 2 is in the middle. 3 is larger than 2. 1 is less than 2. So the numbers to the right are larger. Numbers to the left are smaller. Let's deal with an example using the number line itself. So our centralized number would be 0, right? So we're going to, well, I'm using 0 as my centralized number, right? So it's going to be 0, so 0, And then we're doing 1, 2, 3. Remember the name of these numbers? Positive numbers. Then we're going to do some negative numbers. And I am going to create some questions. Let's say I have a question that says 1 add 2. Simple, right? So I'm going to start at 1 and I'm adding 2. So I'm going to move 2 places to the right. 1, 2. So I know my answer will be 3. Simple. So let's try -1 now. Add 2. So I'm going to start at -1. And I'm going to add 2. So 2 places to the right. So I'm adding, so I'm going right. So my answer now is 1. Let's try a third one. Let's say -4. Add 3. So I'm going to go at -4. And I am going to add 3. 1, 2, 3, which is -1. Are you following? So let's do 7. Let's do -5. -5. Add 5. So we're going to go at -5 and we're going to go to 5. Let's change that color. -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which will give me 0. You can see that, right? 0. And let's do a fifth one. Let's do 6 minus 7. So now we're minusing, so we're going left, right? So 6. And we're going left 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 7. 7. So 6, and we're going left 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And therefore my answer for 6 minus 7 is -1, according to the number line. So let's try. Let's try. Let's try about 3 more examples. Zero, 1, 2. Actually, let's use some bigger numbers. Going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So I did them in increments of 2. -2, -4, -6, -8, -10, -12, -14. So let's go. My first question would be, I want -10 add 6. So -10 add 6. So I'm going to start at -10 and I'm going to add 6. So remember, we're increasing in 2s. So every time I move, it's 2. So this is 2, 4, 6. What did we get our answer as? -4. And that's our answer. Let's try a second one. Let's do 10 minus 12. So I know I have to start at 10. And it's minusing, so I'm going left. And remember, it's 2. So this is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And my answer would be -2. And now 3, we have, let's do -14 add 7. -14 add 7. So I'm going to go at -14, I'm going to go to 7. So this is 2, 4, 6. But remember, if I move a whole leap, I'm going to get 8, but I want 7, so I'm going to stop halfway. Which will be between -6 and -8 will be what? -7. So that's actually my answer, -7. And last question. Let us do -8 add 9. So I'm going to start at -8, which is going to be here. I'm going to go to 9. So 2, again, our numbers are increasing and decreasing in 2, so I can't say 1, 2, 3. So I have to say 2, 4, 6, 8. If I go a whole length again, I'll go to 10, but I don't want to go to 10. I want to do 9. So I'm going to stop halfway. And between 0 and 2 is 1. So my answer here is 1. And that's how we work out some basic addition and subtraction using our number line, right? But I mean, how many numbers can you put in a number line? If I tell you 100 minus 20 or 20 minus 100, are you going to draw up a number line to work those out? Absolutely not. So of course, we have rules that we could apply to help you work out questions like these without using an actual number line. So let's get into the rule. And this is what we call the rule of addition and subtraction. And we have a rule. The first rule is what we know already. When our signs, by signs we mean positive and negative, are the same, add and keep the sign. And the second rule, when the signs are different, so like an addition with a subtraction, when the signs are different, subtract. And what do? Keep the sign of the larger number. Hope you guys could make that out there, right? So when the signs are the same, we're going to add and keep the sign. And when the signs are different, we're going to keep the sign of the, when the signs are different, we're going to subtract them and keep the sign of the larger number. So let's do some quick examples on this and wrap up. 4 quick examples. I have 4 add 10. These are both positive numbers, so rule 1 applies. The signs are the same, so I'm going to add them and keep my answer as positive 40. What about number 2? Negative 4 minus 10. They have the same signs. So again, rule 1 apply. When the signs are the same, add and keep the sign. So 4 add 10 is 14. And I'm going to keep the negative sign. So the third one, I'm going to try 2 different signs now. 10 minus 4, which we know already is 6. But the rule would be the second rule when the signs are different because the 10 is positive and the 4 is negative. So I have to subtract them. 10 minus 4 is 6. And which one of them are the larger number? Which one of them is the larger number? 10. And the sign of the 10 is positive. So our 6 remains as positive. And what about number 4? If it was negative 10, add 6. One is a negative, one is a positive. So that means the signs are different. So the rule 2 applies. So we have to subtract them. So I know you're seeing 10 plus 6 and it's like 16. No, it's negative 10, add 6, 2 different signs. So you have to say 10 minus 6, which is 4. And you have to put the sign of the larger number, which is negative. Right, so we are to the end of my session. And I know it could be a little complicated for those of you who are now being introduced to direct numbers and those of you who did not understand it before. But take your time, go through this, make your notes, and of course, ask your tutor all the questions that you need to ask to ensure that you fully understand this part of directed numbers, right? So guys, I'll see you all for your next lesson.